Now, when we are solving reading, we are obviously looking for the most appropriate word to complete the story, to fill in the blanks. But it's not just the word, it's a language structure that's very, very important. Now, when I say structure, that means framework. The sentences, the way they are connected, and the connectors or the words that will form or establish link between different sentences, they play a crucial role. Let's have a quick look. Now, if you read these two sentences, this one and this one, there's a word here called thus, which means as a result of it. If you understand the usage of the word, well, it's more important than just knowing the meaning of the word. When you say thus, that means as a result of something. So sentence number one and sentence number two, well, now they are connected using a cause and effect relation. Why? Because we are saying thus. Thus means as a result of this thing. So if you read these words and understand, you can predict what kind of words will come and fit in the given sentence or the next sentence. This is called finding answer from the context. So it says, well, this place, Europa, well, it could be or it is actually a mixture of acid and peroxide. Thus means therefore or as a result, it may not be the dash place for life to dash. So answer number one should be it may not be the ideal place for the life to. Second is exist. How do we justify? One thing is using the connectivity. If you know there's a word thus, that means sentence one, sentence two, there's a cause and effect. So if there is a hydrogen peroxide or if the environment is not conducive, there is a corrosive mixture, well, life obviously may not exist. The second approach you can have is look at the other words. We cannot say, well, it may not be beneficial place because benefits and loss are only there if something will exist. Likewise, we cannot say idle. Idle is totally irrelevant, which means stationary, not moving. And if you say not may not be the only place, that means well, life does exist here as well as somewhere else. So what we are going to use, number one, elimination method. Secondly, connectivity between sentences to understand how to solve this reading passage. By the way, for question number two, we have selected this answer, but again, we cannot say life to run. Life will run only if it exists. And we cannot say build. Life is not built. Career is built. Body is built, not life. Likewise, invoke is the wrong answer. Invoking means calling on, arousing something. That may not be the answer here. Now, question three, if you read the words surrounding this blank, you understand that it says information we have comes from a particular spacecraft, Galileo. Now, look at four options. Too easily, which can be removed. Two easy options are gorgeous. We cannot have this option. We also cannot have this option, creative. Why? Gorgeous is related more or less to the appearance, beauty. And if you say creatively, creatively means in an innovative manner, in a unique manner. We are talking about availability of information here. So these two options are easily ruled out. Answer will be either virtually or honestly. We'll go with the option virtually, not honestly, because honestly means we are just being very truthful. Well, the story is not about being truthful or being fake. It's about what exactly is the case. The case here is nearly all means virtually all the information. We also use this word when we have to say almost everything. So virtually. So virtually is not just imagination. We use this word in the sense of virtual reality, but also when you say virtually, it means almost everything or almost literally. Let's go to question number four. Again, in question number four, we can remove some options easily. Because and arguably can be easily removed. What's the reason? Because is a word we use to establish cause and effect relationship. If the two parts or the two fragments or phrases are connected in that sense, then only we can use word because. Likewise, we can remove this option arguably. Arguably is a word when we use when we have to say something perhaps. We don't want to make an absolute statement. For example, gardening is arguably the best hobby. Because if I say gardening is the best hobby, I'm making a big statement. Arguably means perhaps. Easily remove these two options. arguably as well as because. Either answer will be although or regardless. We'll go with the answer although. Why? Because although is used when we have two parts where there's a contradiction with an element of surprise. Just like we use word but or yet. Although does the same job as a conjunction. So answer will be although the general perception is this. Perception is that's what people think. It is a frozen crust of water ice. Uh, Reality is after read if you read this part from here, researchers studying that this measurement, they say light reflected from this, it has hydrogen peroxide. So the perception is different, reality is different. That's why we're using word although, because there is contradiction. Let's go to question number 5. Now we read the words surrounding the blank. It says there is a study and there are measurements and it is the most what. Now we have again four options. Two options which can easily be removed are reticent and receding. Now reticent generally means something quiet. So measurements can't be quiet in that sense. Receding means going back to the previous position, going backwards. Again, what makes sense? So either answer will be, well, recent or regenerating. Well, recent is the answer. Why not regenerating? Because regenerating means you are growing something again after some damage, which cannot be the answer. Why? Because measurements are in a sense not damaged. So answer will be the most recent measurement, which means the latest. And for the last question, again, we have to read this information here. It says that we use this word to give more information on something previously stated. So if it says that, and this is a statement here, it could just be a thin surface. Now, the answer will be accept, because statements or facts or information can be accepted or rejected. It cannot be attained or cannot be availed. Avail is a benefit, kind of advantage. You don't take advantage of a statement. Likewise, you don't attain a statement or attain information. You can attain success. You can get that particular status. Accept means excluding, which will be totally irrelevant answer here. So answer is accept. So the approach we have is we don't just read the word surrounding the blanks. We also try to understand connectivity sometimes. Connectivity is very important. There are certain words which actually define the relation between two different sentences. Like in this case, we had word thus. We had other word although, which means relation is contradictory. Once you understand the language structure, the job becomes very easy. Now again, I repeat many times, do not memorize reading. You are overwhelming your mind with information. You can't retrieve this information in the real exam. You can do that in case of speaking, maybe in case of writing essay, but reading you cannot memorize. You are going against the basic nature of the way your mind operates. Thank you so much for your time. Any doubts, any questions? Comment section.